All right. Tim said it looks like we are going. And we're going to do this for 30, waiting for me to pop up on the screen here, and I will know that I am live. And we are back at it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for waiting for me there. You know, I said that I was going to try to do this every day at noon. So we are back. We're doing this, and we are doing what is now like our third day of doing the YouTube channel, just trying to figure out everything that's happening. So I want you to work with me as I continue to move and navigate different pieces of the equipment because I am definitely still learning, and it is a collaborative effort. Trust me on that one. I am now, I want to go back to something that I mentioned to you before. I talked about how I felt it was important for me to bring up a rundown so that you'd have an idea of what it was that I was talking about. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up that rundown. I just need to get over here to the right space. I'm going to download where it was. This should be it. I am kind of talking to myself while I talk to you, just to make sure we're all on the same page. That is not the one I want. Of course not, because that would have been way too easy, right? So let's see here. I'm going to just simply download it again. I know where to go for that. That is a document. So what I've been trying to do is just to share with you, I've been taking the time to make sure open containing folder. I've been making sure that everything that I'm planning to work with, I've kind of prepared in some way so that when you and I get together, I have my information kind of lined up for us to work with. So here we go, and I want to share this with you so that you can see where we're going and what we're talking about. And one of the things I want to try to do too is I want to kind of move fairly quickly because my colleague Tom Fitzgerald is here, and if I can get him to join me, it would be excellent because he has the latest in what's happening with the Justin Fairfax situation. Today, Fairfax did release a statement, but more than anything, we know that his two accusers have made public statements. So things are getting interesting for the lieutenant governor. But as we've said before 1,000 times, Virginia is a bit of a mess. So first thing I want to do, like I said, is I want to punch up my rundown so that you can see where I plan to go with this, and so that you can see exactly what I'm thinking about doing. So once again, I'm just working here with a couple of things. I want to make sure that I've got everything that I'm looking for in the right place, and then you and I will do it together. So here we go. I want to show you my rundown, and then I'm going to share the screen with you. Okay, so bye-bye. There we are. So we're looking at it. What's popping? Justin Fairfax versus Vanessa Tyson and Meredith Watson, the two women who have accused the lieutenant governor of, in one instance, actual sexual assault, and in another, rape. And again, I'll try to get Fitz over here to break that down for us before he heads out the door. Consent condoms. Yeah, that's the thing. And we're going to be talking about that actually, excuse me, a little bit later on Fox 5's Like It or Not. It's just really interesting that this is a condom that I've got to show you. Yeah, Nick, I've seen condoms before, but trust me, you've not seen anything like this before. The Joker trailer. You know, I was really bothered by this trailer. It dropped today. They played a little bit of it on Good Day DC this morning. And even Kevin McCarthy, our film critic and entertainment reporter in-house, he didn't care for it either. And I'll show it to you, and then we'll discuss on the back end why I found it to be problematic. And then I'm going to try to see what's up this week with the weather so that we can try to make our plans for the week. So we're going to see what's up weather and see what's going on. Oh, let's do this. I bet you the audio was a little messy, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I bet you this is a lot better because what I had not realized is that Nick was not wearing his microphone. Occurred. Let's see here. I'm gonna go here. Looks like I've got an error with my stream. I'm gonna do this. I'm going to stream now. see what's going on, just to make sure I haven't lost you. I'm gonna keep doing my thing here just to see. All right, I think we're there together, and it looks like maybe we had lost it for a bit, so I'm just making sure that we're still live. That's me doing my best to grab your attention once again, and we'll see if it's back live like it should be, and if it is, we will continue and we'll go from there. But now you should have better audio from me. That should not be too much. But something I want to also pull up, because what I also want to have the flexibility of doing here, which is why this works so well, the idea is that at Fox 5 DC, we're always on. So we are always providing you with the latest breaking news and weather. And you can always find the latest information on our website at fox5dc.com. But I want you to remember to both like and subscribe below here on the YouTube channel, and sound off in my emails and DMs. You know, I want to know what you're thinking and what you're talking about, because this is how I come up with most of the stuff that we work on for the different shows. So for both Good Day DC, they are always soliciting information from you, our viewers. Same thing with Fox 5's Like It or Not. And many of our best stories come from people in the community who are walking through town, seeing something that doesn't fit right, or they want answered questions from their elected officials who may or may not be giving them the straight answer. You know, that's what we do here. And none of us do it alone. Our reporters work hand in hand with our writers, who work hand in hand with our producers, who work in tandem with both our photographers and our assignment managers. And the team is one that where you may know a few people because you see us on air. Any one of us would tell you quickly that we definitely do not do it alone. I have never had a successful live shot that did not include a hardworking and extremely talented photographer. I have never had a successful live shot that did not include an extremely talented photographer and producer. And it goes to our people in our command center who tune in the live shots. I mean, it is truly a team, a network of people bringing together what we like to believe is balanced, fair, accurate, solid news to you day in, day out. We really do fight to get it right the first time. We don't want to come back to you apologizing for something that was misquoted or misdirected, and we never want to mislead. So that is never our intention. So what I'm going to try to do right now, while he's still here, if he has a few minutes, I'm going to let him know that I will pull him over whenever he gets a chance. But I want to be set up for him and ready to go so that he can spend 5 minutes or so talking with us. And once we do that, I'm going to just move on into some of the other things that I'm working on so that I can keep your attention. In a perfect world, I will try to go live every day around noon, because I know that you're on lunch, and hopefully, you know, the idea behind YouTube, remember, like and subscribe below. The idea behind YouTube is for you to be able to take us on the go. This is TV in your pocket, or forget TV. We're using old vernacular. If you're at home, we want you to watch us on TV. If you're on the go, I would love for you to pull us up on YouTube. And that is on all of our smart devices, which I'm holding right here just to make sure that I too still have a signal. So what I'm doing, I just want you to know literally how easy this is. I'm unlocking my phone with the face recognition that did not want to work, of course, because I'm doing a live presentation, right? So I want to go to my YouTube. That actually is a picture of Vincent van Gogh. I went to the Vincent van Gogh Museum for the first time last month, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And I left, as they say, shook. I was blown away by his talent and how he really had been unrecognized until it was his sister-in-law who fought to make sure that his legacy was recognized. So I opened up the YouTube app, and I'm hitting Fox 5 Live now. It should pop up with me, and just so that we don't get the feedback, I'll turn it off. But I want you to see how easy it is to literally follow us online through any of our social media apps. And you see me, this is what we're seeing right now. So this is it. And I'm just going to turn that off so it does not distract us. But you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and here, YouTube. At some point, my colleagues will be doing their own YouTube thing. But with me, what I'm going to try to do is just let you know some of the things that I'm working on and what we're working on with here at Fox 5. Again, I'm coming to you live from the newsroom, so there's always something happening in the newsroom. There's always a lot of activity and busy work happening. So, once again, Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019, looking at the rundown, we're talking about what's popping. Justin Fairfax, Vanessa Tyson, Meredith Watson. Going to ask Fitz to come over and talk to us about that. Consent condoms, that is a thing. That is something we'll be talking about tonight on Fox 5's Like It or Not. The Joker trailer, which, like I said, left some of us a little bit bothered, and our own Kevin McCarthy talked about that on Good Day, and even he wasn't crazy about it. And we'll show you why. We'll talk about it on the back end. What's up this week? Weather. So we'll talk about the weather, and I'll pull Tucker or one of the guys over here as soon as I see him walk through the newsroom before he gets out of here. And we'll do your plans. I want to know what's happening with you, how you can plan for your week or weekend. So try to give you like a 5-day to let you know what's going on. There's something happening in the background here. I'm just going to punch this up just so that you can see what I'm looking at that kind of has my attention. I don't know that if it has any audio, and if it does, we'll bring it up, but I'm going to stay in the box with you. But this is the actual courthouse. Get this information up here. This is the courthouse for the latest on the court appearances for the prominent parents, including Hollywood actress. This is one of our earlier stories, just to let you know what I'm reading from. And I'm talking specifically about the latest in the Felicity Huffman saga, because she has shown up in court. This is the courthouse in Boston. We are looking at a live shot outside. It looks like actress Felicity Huffman arrived at federal court in Boston this morning to face charges in the role she's accused of playing in a nationwide college admissions bribery scandal. So the latest on the court appearances, including Hollywood actress, and she arrived at federal court to face those allegations. She paid a college admission consultant $15,000 to rig her daughter's SAT score. And once again, this is a live shot outside. You can see that there are not only just casual citizens who are just standing by to watch, but a throng of reporters. I see a couple of stations that are not only our affiliate, but our competitors out there. It looks like there is a full court press out there. The Desperate Housewives star, it looks like our team is reporting that the Desperate Housewives star walked into Boston's federal court late Wednesday morning, hours before she was set to appear before a judge. Huffman is among 33 parents charged in what authorities have called the biggest college admission scam ever prosecuted. Now, other parents expected to appear in court today include fellow actress Lori Loughlin and Loughlin's fashion designer husband, Massimo Giuliani. Giannulli. My Italian is horrible, but again, work with me. Loughlin and Giannulli are accused of paying $500,000 to have their two daughters labeled as recruits to the University of Southern California crew team, even though neither participated in the sport. Hoffman and Loughlin and Giannulli have not publicly addressed the allegations against them. So this is another reason why this live shot is happening outside in Boston. That looks like, if my memory serves me correctly from my years in Boston, I'm going to tell you that is what they call Courthouse Row, which is east of Faneuil Hall. This is just from my own recollection of Boston as I remember it. I went to graduate school in Boston, so lived there for a while, and it's a great city, but it's definitely a news city where they will trace you down, run you down. So, meaning they will go after that story. You will not hide, okay? They will find you. So I'm getting rid of my rundown because you saw that. I'm going to pull up a couple other things so I can be ready. And what I want to do is, let's go ahead and bring up a bit. We were talking about the Justin Fairfax thing. I'm going to see if I can't find that in one of my others so that as Fitz is here talking with us, in that one, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go under my what now? If you're wondering, you're like, what is he doing? I'm actually signing in to an area we work from. so that I can actually show you. Yep. Um, I don't need to tell you, you probably know this already, but we have one of those situations where we have um, passwords that are like 40 characters long. you miss one part of it and have to start the whole thing over again. So it can be a bit of a headache sometimes, particularly when you're live and you're trying to just get it right. So I'm going to, I believe this is what I'm looking for. And a Fairfax statement. And we're going to Justin Fairfax, because our team, needless to say, we've been covering this for a while. So I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm going to bring this up. And so, like I said, in the next few seconds or so, I'm going to bring over Fitz if he's available and have him chat with us about what this is, why it matters, and what we can expect. What are the next steps? Accusations alone does not a guilty person make. We know this. Fairfax is, in some ways, suggesting that he too needs to have an opportunity to speak out. So, and I think that most people would agree with that. That he should have an opportunity to be heard. But we'll just see what actually comes of this. So let me see if give me 1 second, and I'm going to see if I can have this ready. So when he comes over, testing 1 2 3. This is 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Sorry, you haven't lost me. I'm just making sure that I have the right mic set up for Fitz when he comes over. So, because testing 1 2 3, I want to be respectful of his time as I want to be respectful of yours. So that's testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I believe this is and your first question is obviously the one. Your first question is probably the one I'm thinking too. Why haven't these been labeled? I will take care of that. I will make sure that we do that going forward so that I'm not scrambling in the last minute. But what I'm going to do, just to play it safe, is I'm going to make sure that I kind of pipe him up on both of these just to make sure, because I'm not sure, honestly, which is which. I'm not getting the reading from the mic that I'd like to know for a fact that I have him. But once again, what we're looking at right now is you are looking at a live shot outside the courthouse in Boston, where we are expecting both Laughlin and Hoffman to, Felicity Huffman, to come walking in or out at any time, at any point. But I'll go ahead and lose that. Anything dramatic or exciting happens, there we go. That is one of, that's not the actress, but as we know, there were a couple of parents who are charged and accused from all walks of life, business, finance, not only entertainment. So they are literally getting shots of everyone who's moving in and out of that building. So let's go ahead and get off of that. And if anything happens, I will definitely let you know. You don't need me in the double box. I'll take that out. So if anything happens with that, I'll definitely let you know, just so that you have an idea of what's happening. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a wider shot, and I'm going to, if you give me 1 second, I'm going to shoot Fitz a quick message just to see if he's available. And give me 1 second. I don't want to scream in your ear there, you know. So I want to be ready with my Justin Fairfax video. which would be on Internet 1. Got it. And I want to preview that. Internet 1. Got it. We'll do that. And we'll be able to put us in the corner, correct? We will. All right. Yep. I think we're good to go. So I will be able to do that while we do this. It looks like he is writing now. So again, give me 1 second. I will be right. Well, I don't want to lose you. I don't want to leave you. Like he's across the hallway. So give me 1 second. He's across the room. If you got 2 minutes, Fitz, just slide over and just chat with me. Won't keep you long, promise. I know you're busy. Know you're trying to hustle and get out of here. Over a chair. Let's do this. Everybody, Fitz is going to join me here. Fitz, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure which of these mics is the hot mic.
Well, I'll put them both on.
But thank you very much, sir. We will do this just so that we are clear. And more than anything, Fitz, I've explained to everyone at home is that I'm still working my way through all of this. So bear with me. What I want to do, though, is I do want to bring up a little bit of the Justin Fairfax video as we kind of talk here, because we are talking about Fairfax and the latest right now with he and addressing his two accusers. And this is a pretty big deal.
He's still denying these allegations today. This was a bit of a surprise, because in the last couple of days, Nick, we've been trying to get the lieutenant governor, the past couple of months, we've been trying to get the lieutenant governor to sit down and talk with us. He, just to kind of go through the highlights of this, he once again denied the accusations. He talked about how hurtful this has been to his family. There were some steps that he says that he made today. First one being he released the results of this polygraph test that he says that he took and passed, addressing questions about these two allegations from Meredith Watson and from Vanessa Tyson. He says he passed it. He says he's releasing the information today. He also says that along that path, he does not believe television interviews, and he does not believe public hearings are the way to get to what he calls the truth of this. So he today says that he directed his attorneys to contact prosecutors in Durham, North Carolina, where, as you know, Duke University is located, which is the location of one of these allegations.
His first accuser, or the second accuser, but the first incident, correct?
Right. The second woman to come out, but the incident itself was in 2000. The incident alleged by Dr. Tyson happened in 2004 at the Democratic National Convention in Boston. That is also where Fairfax says he's telling.
And Fitz, can you tell us?
Well, let me finish what he's asking. He is asking prosecutors in Durham and prosecutors in Boston to open up investigations into this and have them be the arbitrators of whether or not these probes move forward. However, he's the lieutenant governor in Virginia. He's not the lieutenant governor. He doesn't
have that power
in
necessarily.
Massachusetts. He doesn't have that power in North Carolina. It is up to those jurisdictions to decide how they're going to move forward. He can ask, doesn't mean they're going to do it.
How likely is it for something like that to happen? I mean, that's the obvious question. Is this a situation where we are in an arena now where that's a question that can be asked and a request that can be made and adhered to?
It's a good question. Normally, that kind of request would come from a victim. In 2000, Ms. Watson says that she did not report it to any authorities at the time, and likewise, Ms. Tyson says she did not report it at the time. In fact, they wanted to put it out of their minds and move on with their lives, according to these interviews that they've given in the last couple of years. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. What we do know is that it's not up to Justin Fairfax to decide whether or not the prosecutors in other states open up these probes.
Or the arena, if there is, or it's not a hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's also interesting that he said today that he doesn't want to move forward with these hearings. That would be, he is, as lieutenant governor, he is the president of the Senate. He certainly has some ability to make that happen. He also has clearly some ability to make that not happen.
I know you're headed out of here, but the legislature, they're back today, correct? Or
back for a day.
Back.
the General Assembly, as it's called in Virginia, does not meet year round. They have a 90-day session which lasts from roughly the end of December through early February. I think they adjourn sometime around Groundhog's Day, ironically enough, this year, or Valentine's Day. So they were there when all of this was blowing up, and not just Justin Fairfax.
Right.
We can't have this conversation without talking about Ralph Northam, the governor, who had pictures of people in blackface on his yearbook with a Klansman. He claims it was not him after the day before had he said that it may have been him, and came out the next morning and said that he was staying in office. That hasn't gone away. And then we have this other thing that's out there about the Attorney General, the Democrat Mark Herring, who had already announced he was going to run for governor after Northam's term ends.
Right.
Coming forward with his own revelation that he had worn blackface himself when he was.
You've been doing this a while. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Have you?
I have never seen anything like this.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen.
Listen, political problems come in all forms.
Right.
Whether it's legislation not getting passed, corruption, all manner of things. Sexual scandals. I can't think of anything let anybody see. The closest I can think to something that kind of overturned a state this way was, if you go back to when Governor Jim McGreevey in New Jersey came out. I think this was 15 years ago or so, to announce that he was gay and that he was resigning.
Right.
But you look back at that now through the 2019 prism, and you wonder, would that have been the case? Certainly, opinions have completely evolved on that question.
Right. Absolutely.
And we now have Mayor Pete Buttigieg running for president, surprisingly strongly as well, for somebody who was a small town mayor.
Raised quite a bit of money, right? Didn't he?
Well, he raised $7 million.
Yeah.
You compare that to Kamala Harris. She raised $12 million. Well, Kamala Harris has been on the national political scene
for a while,
a heck of a lot longer than Pete Buttigieg. And I know we're drifting off topic. But getting back to what's going on in Virginia, what's interesting about it is how stagnant we are on this. Nothing's changed. We now have heard directly from the accusers, and once again, we've heard from Fairfax today.
Whereas before, this would have been a death nail.
Well, we haven't budged from where we were 2 months ago. A cloud remains over Justin Fairfax. A cloud remains over the governor. A cloud remains over the attorney general. And none of the calls for resignation of either Northam or Fairfax have been recalled. Both Virginia United States Senators Tim Kaine and Mark Warner called for Northam to resign. They haven't retracted that. There have been calls for Fairfax to resign. Nobody has retracted any of those. So we seem to just be kind of in this political limbo right now, where at some point there may have to be some resolution to this. But I wouldn't rule out the possibility that we just remain in this kind of political zombie state
for a while.
For a while, it could. I mean, did anybody think when the story blew up about Northam that he would have survived that weekend?
Right.
And here we are, into April, and he doesn't appear like he's going anywhere. In fact, they are now, trying to feel out this system where it's understood that these scandals hang over their head, but they are still going to try to, operate the machinery of government. It's very bizarre.
Tom Fitzgerald, thank you so much, Tom.
Thanks,
appreciate that. Hey, you guys, that was Tom Fitzgerald here in the newsroom, joining us here for a quick minute. This is what we're talking about. When we have an opportunity to go live with something or a situation, I want to be able to bring it to you, particularly from those who have the information firsthand. Tom has been covering this from the very beginning, and what made it particularly newsworthy and trending today, for me, I just thought that we had to do something with it, was the very fact that, hey, he finally released a statement and gave us his idea of where he stood on all of this. It's just remarkable, and like you heard from Tom himself, he has not seen anything like this. And what do you say? What do you do? In the end, it is the voters of Virginia who will have to decide how these things, how this goes forward and what happens next. But what we will do is we'll continue to stay on top of this. I can tell you that we will follow this story all the way until the end and and wait and see how it all turns out. The other thing you and I kind of talked about, we had talked about the uh, consent condoms that I wanted to tell you about. You're like, Nick, well, you really seem to be on this thing, and I am because I think it's interesting. I was genuinely, should I say, impressed with. I was look, I'm old, so to see something that shocks the senses for me, or where I say, now that's new, that's different. It takes a lot. I've been doing this a while, and so it's in my old age when things can still surprise someone like me. I feel it worthy to share it with you, just so that we can all be in this together. So let me set it up, which is what I'm doing now, and we will discuss on the other side. I'd be interested to see what you think. And I think we're just about ready to go. I'm going to do this. And let's see, let's do this. Ridiculous here. Okay, here we go. This is what I want you guys to see. You can hear the audio, but I want you to actually see what I'm talking about. This is what we will discuss on the other side. These are the new consent condoms. It can only be opened by two people. So that's why I thought it was just so interesting. The condoms can only be opened when four hands simultaneously apply special amounts of pressure to pressure points. This way, everyone is engaged in the activity, and it then implies consent. So that the question of whether or not both parties involved and engaged in the act were willing participants. So here we go. Let's take a look together. I'm going to disappear while we roll this and take a look. I actually thought that was pretty interesting. What did you think about that? Yeah, you agree? You're like, okay, wow, you don't say. So again, I'm just going to try to bring you interesting things as I see them, and that was part of my rundown that I want to show you there, just to make sure. I'm like, wait, am I crazy or is this something very, very new? We also talked about, or I talked about that Joker trailer that, you know, I wasn't too crazy about it. Uh, and I want to see what you think. So once again, we'll discuss on the other side. But more than anything, I just want to bring it to your attention, and then we'll go from there. Because everything about this is a discussion now. It's a discussion of what's happening now. It's a discussion of what I think is interesting. I gave you the platform, so I'm gonna talk about what I think is interesting. Because I think that if it's something that is trending or hot or funny or don't do that, if it's something that's trending or hot or funny, my guess is you're talking about it too, and that's how conversations happen. I think social media, in many ways, has replaced the water cooler. So this is our water cooler. I want to make sure that I'm bringing you the latest things that maybe people say that tell us that they're talking about in their living rooms or whatever, and I want to make sure that we're all doing it together. Remember to like and subscribe below. Also, you can find me on both Instagram, Twitter, at Nipsey Smith News. You can also email me at nick.smith@foxtv.com. And let's go ahead and look at this new trailer for the Joker. Because once again, I thought it was, I apologize. I know that my audio is probably all over the place. I have to be cognizant of the fact that if that's not up, you're not hearing me. And I have to remember to wear my mics. And the other takeaway note is I've got to figure out which mic is which for guest. So let's take a look at this, and you and I will discuss on the other side. I'm going to punch me up just so you can see that I'm here. I'm not leaving you. I'm not leaving you. And I'm going to go ahead and bring this in so you can still see me. And we're going to go ahead and play this here. This is the trailer for The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. All right, let's do this. And we'll talk about it on the other side.
Arthur, does it help to have someone to talk to?
My mother always tells me to smile and put on a happy face. She told me I had a purpose to bring laughter and joy to the world. Stop them! Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by.
What?
If you smile to your fear and sorrow, smile, and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile. If you
What's so funny?
just
Freak?
Gotham's lost its way. What kind of coward would do something that cold-blooded? Someone who hides behind a mask.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy. But now I realize it's a comedy.
if you just smile.
All right, really interested to know what you thought about that. Like I said, I thought it was just a little bit too dark. I don't know. It did not. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for me because, again, I just felt like it was. I didn't see the humor in that, but I'd love to know what you thought. It looked like someone who was, I don't know, maybe mentally challenged or kind of disenfranchised, marginalized, and then abused through life. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that. So it did not. This is what I predict. I cannot believe I'm the only one who felt that way. That was my initial reaction. I understand it's Joaquin Phoenix and all that. I still think people want to connect with characters and they want to feel good or they want to root for a hero, even a bad guy, but they need to connect. I'm not sure what the intention of that trailer was to do other than to make most people extremely uncomfortable, whether or not you're familiar with the comic or not. I mentioned to someone, I said, oh wow, that really was dark. That made me feel uncomfortable. And of course, you know, the darkest place in the world is Twitter, right? And someone said, well, clearly you've never read DC Comics or the Joker. Okay, actually, I haven't. But the point is, if one has to read and do a thesis on a topic, before one can enjoy a trailer for a movie, which I have done movies before where guess what? I didn't know the storyline, but the trailer pulled me in. So if your argument is, if you don't know DC Comics and you don't know the history and the background of the Joker, then clearly you don't get it. Duh, it's the Joker. Duh, that was a movie trailer. Duh, if I were in a bookstore looking at a comic and I didn't get it, then we can have this conversation. But don't dare try to condescend me over something that was meant to appeal to those who may or may not know the DC comic. Thank you very much. I'm telling you that trailer did not work, and my argument is this. There will be another trailer, at least 2, 3 more, because the tone has to change. Tone doesn't change, they're going to find themselves sitting there looking at another Dumbo that just flopped at the hospital, so flopped at the box office. So yeah, come on. Yeah, whatever. Don't as we like to say, don't give me too much. You know I didn't finds out. Don't make me look like I'm crazy when I tell you that I thought that was uncomfortable, because it was uncomfortable. And it will change, and trust me, I'm not the only one who felt that way. Anyway, if you disagree with me, I want you to sound off. Either way, I want you to like and subscribe below, and I want to hear what you have to say. If you've seen that clip or you hadn't seen the clip, now that you have seen it, I want you to go back and look at it on your own, and yeah, tell me what you think, you know, because it's one of those things where I didn't like it, and that's all I got to say about that. So Lauren London was the wife of Nipsey Hussle. And as you know, Nipsey Hussle died after being shot multiple times in South LA. Nipsey was, I think, for most accounts and purposes, someone who was very serious about the community, and particularly the community from which he came from, which was predominantly African American and Hispanic, where he wanted to focus on uplifting his community. He poured money back into the community. So his whole message was one of positivity and uplifting those he felt had been marginalized either economically or socially. With that, there are those who had issues with Nipsey because they felt as though he wasn't always reaching out to the entire black community. He did not have the same passion, it appeared, in some of his earlier statements for people of color who were maybe transgender, gay, or gender nonconforming, that he thought it weakened what it meant to be black, and definitely what it meant to be a black man. I don't need to tell you that there are members of the African American community who have since held him accountable. There's a young writer, a black queer writer named George M. Johnson, who wrote a great think piece for The Advocate, just talking about how we have to, when we talk about someone in their passing, we have to tell the whole story, not just the part that is comfortable to tell. And that I found to be interesting, because he talks about Nipsey's life, of course, being taken through violence, which he turned against and was preaching against and advocating against, being taken by that same violence that had that he had escaped from. But he also talks about how, because that life was taken so soon, it's possible we missed an opportunity to see Nipsey evolve from the guy who thought less of black queer men and gender nonconforming people of color, or our trans brothers and sisters in the community. Because George argues in his extremely well-written essay that he does not have the ability to strip his black skin of all the things that make him a black man. So he does not walk in just one lane as a black man. He's also black, male, queer, and aware of the loss of his brothers and sisters. So it's just a great piece worth reading. George M. Johnson is his name. And I think he has a couple of pieces coming out later, but he's one of those up-and-coming young writers and activists who really causes you to think. There are a lot of great voices out there. Feminista Jones is another one that I read often. Anyway, time now is about 1:24. I've gone on a little bit longer than I thought I would. I was trying to hold out to see if I saw Tucker or somebody from the weather department come over, but that didn't happen today. But either way, I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to try to, like I said, do this every day around noon, because I know that you're on lunch and you may click in for a little bit, and if I've got it going and it's interesting enough, you'll stick around. And if there's breaking news, I'll jump on in and let you know what's happening, like we tried to bring you the live shots from the courthouse today. If it's happening, we will try to bring you someone over to talk about it and break it down for us, because I may not have all the information about what's happening in that moment, but we definitely have a team here who can work to help me get it all together. Additionally, remember to follow me on both Instagram and Twitter at Nick Smith News. I want you to like and subscribe below. And like I said, if anything comes your way, our best stories come from the community. Our best stories come from people like you who are watching, who see and hear things that you either want exposed, covered, understood, explained. We do it all. It's a great team. None of us do it alone. If you don't feel like you want to speak out and be seen, we can very much work with you to keep you and the information that you share with us anonymous. Okay? We have ways of vetting information on our own that would afford us the opportunity to make sure that we got it right before going public with anything. Once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to tune in, join me. I love seeing the things pop up with people checking it out, disappearing, coming in for a little while just to see what's happening. Thanks again to Tom Fitzgerald for sitting down with me, explaining the whole situation in Virginia happening right now with the Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax, and what we can or may not expect with his accusers coming forward in such a public forum. And thank you for taking the time to tune in and watch me and give me feedback, because I do read it. I definitely read it. I'm going to tell you something. They may say they don't, but there are very few people on TV or who choose to engage in a medium like this, where we don't look for, receive, and hope to get the feedback on the job that we're doing that is clear and constructive, so that we can improve, work on, develop. I've been told, hey, Nick, you speak too quickly. I try to slow it down. I want to make sure that I'm enunciating, that I'm clear, and that I have a clear format that you can follow so that you understand where we're going and it doesn't seem like rambling. I appreciate the patience and graciousness you've extended to me while I try to navigate through the system and understand the equipment a little bit better. Each time we'll get better, I promise you that. But I'd like to do this every day with you around noon, somewhere between 12 and 12:30, once I get things together and can come on over and hopefully find you on your lunch break. All right? And that's it. I want everybody to have a great day. It is warm here in D.C. today. In fact, I want to see what is it now. I just had this because I have the Fox 5 weather app. It's like having Sue Polka in my pocket. So it is 66 and sunny outside right now, 66 and sunny right now in the nation's capital. So I think I'm going to go and grab me a salad from Cozy up the street and try to stay away from the things that usually pull me in when I finish something like this, because the nerves go down. Yeah, I still get nervous. Still get nervous doing this because you want to make sure that you're speaking, talking, not talking too quickly, where you say something, you're like, oh, I don't even remember saying that. Because the intention is never to offend. And I want to be clear with that. So I go back to what I said earlier. I'm always open to feedback. If there's something you need me to go through, explain, and I want you to feel comfortable shooting me an email. I want you to feel comfortable writing to me. I want you just to feel comfortable letting me know where your thought process is, so that I can improve on my craft, and I can give you the information and things that you're looking for. That's it. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks again. I appreciate you supporting, and I will see you on April 4th. Bye.